Welcome back internet to a brand new video. I hope you're all doing well, and today I'm going to be talking about something that really quite upset me when I first read it, and it served as a reminder of how greedy motherfuckers out there really be. And I am of course talking about the updates we received about the late rapper Pop Smoke. Specifically, we got updated on the circumstances of his death, and I again realized how unnecessary his death really was and how apparently a $2,000 watch was worth causing the untimely demise of Pop Smoke. So just for some background context, if you for some reason stumble across this video without actually knowing who Pop Smoke was or what he did for a living, let me give you a quick rundown. Essentially, at least in my opinion, Pop Smoke was one of the most unique rap artists that rose to popularity at the tail end of the 2010s, whose career lasted way too short in my opinion. The Brooklyn rapper emerged into the rap scene with the track Welcome to the Party, an absolute real banger in 2019, and went on to drop 2 mixtapes before his untimely passing last February, and there was also a post-mortem album. Personally, I believe he created some of the most iconic and recognizable music during the short time he was actually in the rap game, because if you really look at the timeline, he only had been rapping for about a year, but of course with his unique voice and delivery plus the iconic ad-libs, I do think it's incredibly sad that we had to lose him last year. But the exact circumstances of his demise were to a large extent unclear and remained somewhat of a mystery, with a lot of speculation from perhaps not too credible sources. Basically, we were only certain that he died due to getting shot while his home was invaded by an unknown amount of intruders. However, we now finally received some information on Pop Smoke's demise, and I decided to cover it because it really shows the greed some men in this world have and to what extent they will go just for a quick extra buck. So the article I'll be referring to for this video here is from Microsoft News, and it states the following: tragic details of Pop Smoke's death revealed. It's been over a year since Pop Smoke was murdered during a home invasion. The rising star was only 20 years old at the time of his tragic death, and now the details behind what happened has been revealed from a LAPD detective. According to court testimony, the rapper was killed by a 15-year-old with a group of teens who ambushed him while at an Airbnb in the Hollywood Hills. So the entire information here is obviously based off a court hearing, and that refers to the culprits who presumably have been caught sometime after his death, having to defend themselves in court against detectives and LAPD. Man, I did not expect events to have turned out this way, but Pop Smoke, who himself was only 20 years old, was killed by a 15-year-old kid who's only 16 now. With a lot of rappers, there's this sad image of someone betraying them and going behind your back to kill him, but here it seems to have been just some random 15-year-old who tried to be a gangster, I guess, and just because of this kid's greed and stupidity, we now have another great rapper dead. And while I cannot stress enough that this is clearly another wake-up call to us to finally acknowledge this huge gang problem that America faces, because you know this 15-year-old child had to be gang-related. But the aspect that this kid was only 15 and is now the same age as I am, and he killed Pop Smoke in cold blood, it is truly devastating to hear. And Pop Smoke didn't even provoke any gang-related issues at that time, which makes this whole thing even more pathetic, because according to this article, the real reason Pop Smoke was killed is, quote, the group aimed to steal Pop Smoke's diamond Rolex, in which they later sold for $2K. By the way, can I just mention how awful Microsoft articles are typically written? An actual journalist published this and didn't even see the obvious mistakes he made. But regardless, that's the part that shocked me about this entire situation the most, because the fact that these intruders were only after a $2,000 watch is shocking to me, because of course that might sound like a lot to some of you. I mean, it's sure hella money for me, but considering Pop Smoke was a literal billionaire, 2K seems like nothing. Plus, it would have been one thing if they came in and then proceeded to search and rob his home for that watch, but they literally decided to end Pop Smoke's life, and Pop Smoke's life was worth less than this 2K watch to them. They have essentially robbed him from his entire fan base for a quick buck that wasn't even worth that much money if you consider the bigger picture here, because they had to know that they couldn't walk around advertising this as Pop Smoke's watch open for grabs, since that would have been such an insanely stupid self-cinching move. It takes the crown from whoever that idiot was that admitted to crimes in this podcast. But anyway, since they couldn't openly sell it around as Pop Smoke's watch, they must have known that this won't bring them that much money in the long run. I mean, 2k, I could have made that in 3 months as a waiter, so this just exemplifies the immense greed a lot of people regrettably have in today's society. The article goes on to say the gunman was the youngest among the group and is facing murder and robbery charges after allegedly admitting to his crimes in a recorded interview with a cellmate last May. Lock him up, moreover punish him with a severe sentence. I don't care if he's only 15, he most likely fell victim to gang violence and grew up with a constant gang presence, but I still don't think this can be excused here, and my opinion here only got stronger when I read this. The 15-year-old is the youngest of the 4 defendants who were charged last July with murder and robbery in relation to Pop Smoke's death, following 5 arrests made earlier that month, and one of 3 juvenile suspects in this case. Detective Camacho, I might be butchering that name, I don't know, detailed how the invaders allegedly confronted Pop Smoke, real name Barter Jackson, while he was showering. The rapper initially appeared to comply with their demands but decided to fight back and was subsequently killed. So let's set this straight. This gang of 15-year-olds and slightly above broke into this man's house to steal a watch, found Pop Smoke showering and decided to murder him for $2,000. This is another one of these extremely tragic passings that could have been avoided so easily. It just creates this dark feeling of what if? What if he would still be here? It just would take these people to have a little bit less greed and he would still be around today. But yeah, this really summed up my opinion about this whole, of course, incredibly tragic situation that has unfortunately unfolded last year. I know this was kind of a downer video, but sometimes you just gotta tackle some unpleasant things in life. But anyway, I still hope you all enjoyed my take on this. If you did, please drop a sub and a like on this video. Also, make sure to share your opinions in the comments down below. I read all the comments and I really appreciate them. So yeah, stay safe, don't forget to wash your hands, and I'll hopefully see you around.